When?
Welcome to Friday afternoons in Dr. Walker's backyard. I'm teaching in bare feet because I can. Silver linings, right? Every cloud is a silver lining. All right, we're gonna hit the 15 plants we do each week on Friday afternoons, walking around the backyard. So you can hit those on Canvas. Just click on the calendar and click on the day, and it lists each plant that you need to learn about and some interesting facts. Starting with pasqueflower, called pasque because it always blooms right at Easter. There's some derivation of Pasch and Passover or Easter or something like that. Beautiful plant. Popped up in my yard as a weed this year. Tough to find around town, but worth looking for. All right, continuing on. Here is the saddest looking daffodil you've ever seen in your entire life. Quick review. There's the ovary, there's the corolla, inferior ovary on daffodils, and there's the corona, that weird outgrowth of the corolla. All right, onward.
Ooh.
This is being filmed by my daughter, Leah. Thank you. She's home from college because of the event, so silver lining for me, not for her. All right, here's my garden. I've got the lettuce, the kale, the radishes, the spinach, and the peas, all my cold season stuff. I've got my 3-bin compost, which I'm very proud of. I've got my first bin for the fresh, my second bin for the curing, and my third bin for the finished compost. I love my compost. Continuing on. Ooh, you can see my woodpile. We got hit by a tornado this year, which silver linings means we're gonna have firewood for a long time. We also lost a pecan and a bur oak and a walnut, which I've cut up, getting prepared to get lumbered. Take it to a local sawmill, that'll get turned into lumber, and we're going to trade that for the wood that we're going to use for building our raised beds out of cedar. Here's the elm tree that you were responsible for learning this week. I'm going to jump up. Oh, that was amazing. Did you see the vertical on that? Oh, that's dangerous. I end up in the hospital during coronavirus because I tried to jump 6 inches high. I'll show you a Samara on a lower elm in a few moments. Come this way. There's the backyard. I decided to start backyards with Walker in the front yard, but that's just because the pasqueflower was there. There's my smoker. At some point we're going to have a barbecue backyard Friday. Here's my horseradish patch, which we dig up the roots once a year or as needed and turn into horseradish. Come this way, over here. Here is the forsythia, which was solid yellow, only flowers a week ago, and now the leaves have started to come out on it, but one of the earliest flowering shrubs around here. Absolutely gorgeous. In for the close-up. All right, we can do our violet right here. Here's one of our violas. Comes up as a weed in the lawn, and I love it. We have 3 different species in the backyard. I will show you some of the other ones. This is, I believe, Viola soraria. And I'll find another one in a moment. And then we have another one of your plants, Spring Beauty. This is the one that has great variation in it. Sometimes it's white, sometimes it's purple. Every flower, every plant usually has different colored flowers on it. And right next to it, we have our 2 species of henbit, Lamium purpurea, Lamium amplexicale. Both very, very common weeds. You will have them in your lawn unless you really get after it. Honeybees love it, so it's hard to get too mad about having a lot of henbit. In the early spring, my backyard turns purple with it. And I have no problem with that because I just mow over it. And after the first mow, you don't usually see it again. Come over here! Over here! Alright, I think I'm going to take you up on the porch to give you an overview. There's my compost mix that I got from Gem Dirt. A yard of it, $45. Kind of costly, but man, you can grow anything in that. I use that as potting soil, and then I use it as additions to the vegetable garden as well. Welcome to the backyard. All right. Yes, this is a badminton racket. It's what I carry on the porch for thwapping wasps. I know it sounds not nice, but you only have to step out of your back porch one time and have a wasp land on your head before it's game on, crouton. One thing I forgot to load up on before the event was wasp spray. We do everything organic here except for the wasp spray. It shoots like 25 feet and it kills on contact. Maybe the coolest device we have around the house. Again, I don't encourage it, but it's super fun and not that expensive. And you feel like you're shooting lasers. All right, so there, right there, see? Don't you, die, wasp! Ah! That's why we carry badminton. There's the baseball bat, by the way. We use the baseball bat for when there's cows in the backyard, so we chase them down. And you may ask, what are you going to do with a baseball bat when you catch the cow? First of all, you aren't going to catch the cow because they're faster than you think. Second of all, it's considerably more convincing running at something like this than just running at it. So we keep the baseball bat around. There's the bird feeder. Great birds in our backyard. We'll have some come by in a minute. I'll talk about them. It used to be a martin house for those kind of swallow-like birds, purple martins, and we put it back in the pasture. And no purple martins moved in, but a lot of sparrows, European house sparrows moved in. We don't like them. So I took that down. We converted it into a tetherball court. Super fun. Kids played on it. And then they stopped playing on it. So I kind of converted it over to a crow feeding place. So we try not to throw anything away. Meat scraps, leftover meat, when you're cutting fat off meat before you cook it. I used to put it up there for the crows so they would come in. Crows are super shy, but if you put it kind of away from the house, they'll come get it. One day I'd put up a bunch of fillets of tilapia fish that had gone bad. Had been in the freezer for 5 months. I'm sorry, 5 years. And so we just decided to feed it to the crows. Put it on top, didn't think about it. My boy had a bunch of his friends over, and then it was game on with the tetherball again until, as they're playing, fillets of raw fish start rotting. Raw fish starts falling. Ooh, pipevine swallowtail, cool butterfly. Come this way, over here. So now it's been converted to a bird feeder. We put it there so the squirrels couldn't get to it. Turns out 4 feet is no thing at all for a squirrel to jump, so the squirrels jump on it and we don't use it. All right, here are the plants that you started in January. These started a little bit later than January. There are herbs. There's your cilantro and your parsley and your basil and your dill. What am I going to do with 150 dill plants? I do not know, but we'll come up with something. These are the plants that Katie started for Environmental Solutions class. The cardinal flower, doing well. The carex, a sedge, it's popping up. And then columbine is also popping up. Here's the pomegranates that you guys collected from a pomegranate that we had in the class when the Tomato Man's daughter came and spoke to us and taught us how to got you. Taught us how to seed save, and sure enough, it worked. Pomegranates are up, and then our one serrano pepper. Come over here. Got you. Ouch. Here is the oak, which is one of your plants. There's the male flower coming down here, these long earring-looking tassels. The female flower, which is going to become the acorn, is buried right into the base of the petiole, right there, that little red dot. And so this line of male flowers here, maybe 20, 30, 50 in one catkin, that's what the inflorescence is called, is going to produce absolutely tons of pollen. So this is the reason why your car next week is going to be covered with a thin film of yellow dust or pollen, because all of our oaks are about to bloom, and oaks are probably the most common plant in the forest of Oklahoma. All right, come over here. I should be thinking of something creative and witty to be saying while I'm walking, but I got nothing. You were a little impressed with the wasp shot though, right? It was pretty crafty. All right. Continuing on. You've got, I'm trying to think of other plants that I put in there. I think that does it. I think we will stop here. We'll probably start next week introducing you to the chickens and down at the chicken coop and some of the other birds that we have living in houses, and then get down into the pasture and start talking about what's growing down there. So you survived your first Friday in the backyard with Dr. Walker. Enjoy your weekend, stay safe, and we'll talk to you next week.